Secrets of Life show. I am your host, Ana Lennyr, and I am a family relationship and antidepressant expert. And today we are going to talk about something that is very current in our life. And I want you to decide by the end of the show if it's something that you want or you do not want in your journey of overcoming heartbreak, anxiety, or depression. And that is the therapy trap. In the first part of the show, I am going to reveal how this trap has succeeded to unveil us all, including myself. And in the second part of the show, I'm going to give you tips of how to understand how can you use a therapist in a proper way. As you probably already know, at the age of 19 and a half, I had a suicidal attempt, and I realized that I have some issues that I need to solve. Okay, I did not know what these issues are, but trying to kill myself was not a good idea, right? So I have decided to enroll in the second university. I was already enrolled in one of them. I decided to enroll in the second University of Psychology, because I thought that they are the main authority to help me with my problem and to succeed to get over this depression that I've had and all these suicidal thoughts. Who else can teach me more than the actual university? So this is what I did. I enrolled in the second university, and I have completed 2 universities in the same time, both of them with scholarships. But today I joke because I do not consider myself a psychologist, nor a therapist, nor a counselor. I joke that I have entered that university as a chicken and I exited as a cow, with a lot of books in my belly, but no skills to help me. I decided not to pursue the profession because I was still suicidal. And I figured out that what am I going to do? Meet my customer on the bridge who jumps first? So I have decided not to pursue the profession, not knowing that over 20 years after that, I am going to pursue the profession in a different way. So let me explain how we all fall into this therapy trap, especially today that therapy is a fashion. Yes, I said that therapy is a fashion because if you don't go to therapy or send your kid to therapy, there is something wrong. You're not fashionable enough. And unfortunately, we have already proven that this doesn't work. You see, if meds or therapy would have solved the problem of depression today, we wouldn't know what depression is. We had therapists for over 2,000 years. They were called priests, they were called friends, they were called family members. And just talking our problems out to them is not solving anything to anybody. And there is a specific reason why not. First of all, because many therapists are falling into the same trap as I did, right? They started everything with trying to help themselves. And now they figured out that, oh, I can help others because I understand them. When you say that you understand anxiety and depression, you're actually saying that you're suffering from it. Because the moment you overcome it, you don't understand it anymore. And this is very, very important to get. You know about it, you know how to get out of it, you know all the traps that keep people in it, but you do not understand why anybody still suffers from it, because you escaped. So there is this conception that by helping others, I can help myself. Not understanding that by the law of attraction, you attract who you are, what you are. So pain attracts pain. and you're going to get together and expand on more pain. Let me explain how this works exactly. So here is somebody that wants to be understood, a client that goes to therapy. I really want to be understood. I really want to tell you my story. Well, here's the therapist who might know or might not know how to get them out. If it's a therapist that knows, needs to give you specific directions that you do not like. Likability factor is very important in therapy. You do not survive as a therapist for $60 an hour or $100 an hour if people do not like you. Now, how do you survive with that amount of money, even if it's $200 or $2,000 an hour, is by making sure that your clients are coming to you every day for the next 2 to 10 years. So do you see the trap here? The trap is not to fix the problem. The problem is to stay there quietly and just listen and understand the problem, which means let's join misery loves company. We call it also complaint department because it's where you can go and complain with no kind of repercussions. If you do that with your spouse, with your kid, or with your boss, repercussions are very different. Or if you do that with some of your friends, they're going to call you crazy or immature. So this is the first way that people get into this. From the therapist side, okay, I can help others, and by helping others, I can maybe help myself. From the client side is I need somebody to understand me. But they don't come to the stage with I want to fix this. They come with I need somebody to understand me. Which means I can still stay in the same trap. It's totally okay. We did have therapy for hundreds of years, right? We had discussion with everybody about our problems. But we never asked people how to resolve that problem. We don't go to people who have resolved it already. We keep staying in the circle of unresolved problem. And we talk and re-talk our problem. Practically, we're in a circle, in a cycle. And unfortunately, just by re-talking the same problem over and over again, by rethinking it, by revisiting it, this has huge repercussions on your brain. If you haven't seen our TV show, The Chemistry of Depression, please make sure you watch it, because every time there is something negative, it imprints in your brain. It's practically like a seal, like a tattoo that keeps imprinting more and more and more and stops your light from shining. Because now the problem you have re-talked about over and over again is ruling your life unconsciously without ever knowing. When you are going to a therapy session, you usually want to solve one problem, not understanding that that one problem is linked to a lot of other ones. So let's take somebody that goes to therapy because they were abandoned by their husband, right? So feel abandoned, cheated on, divorced, heartbreak, all of it together. The therapist is not there to give you information about the misconceptions about love that you have started with in your relationship. The therapist is not there to teach you about men and women and the 4 types of men and women archetypes, and maybe you shouldn't choose this type of man in your life. because he's an archetype that is not going to stay stable. And the therapist is not there to tell you that you couldn't deliver on the expectations that your husband had because maybe you haven't even talked about those expectations when you started your marriage. So the only thing right now the therapist can tell you is to keep yourself busy. It's okay. It's all right to be heartbroken. It's all right to not know how to get over your heartbreak, and you can just try to stay alone for a while to heal with no skills. So just practically cry in your misery, and as soon as you go back on the dating stage, the same thing repeats. And you might not even want to do that, because you bring all your hurt from this relationship into the next one, unconsciously, not knowing how to heal it. And that's the only thing that a therapist can do. Just listen to you because your friends are probably sick of listening to you. In case that you're sending your child to therapy, another thing occurs that is more dramatic. You are setting your child up into what we call a triangle of insanity. The triangle of insanity has 3 points: the victim, the savior, and the aggressor. Think about who is the victim here, who is the aggressor, and who is the savior. The victim is the child, because the child has no way of deciding if they go to therapy or not. You're probably making this decision. The savior is the therapist that comes to save the day by trying to make the connection between the child and you, the aggressor. Right? You're probably the bad person, because if you're not the bad person, you would have tried to work these out with your child directly. You wouldn't need a third leg on a triangle. These kind of parents who are sending their kids to therapy, later on they are labeled by people who come to me and who suffer from depression as narcissists. Yes, as narcissists. And I always ask the child, who is now an adult, over 26 years old, why was your parent a narcissist? Because they sent me to therapy. It has nothing to do with narcissism. You do realize that. No, but they just dismissed me. And here it comes the trap that it's easier to send a child to therapy because you don't know how to help them than it is to learn how to help them and actually have a great relationship with your child and make sure your child doesn't slip in depression. Skills that we haven't learned because our parents didn't have them and they dismissed us in a way or another. So why would therapy still be beneficial? And why we're wasting our time and money with it? Stay with us for the second part of the show to dig into deeper.
Are you struggling with a constant battle of healthy relationships? Are you looking for love only to find heartbreak and betrayal? Would you like to be loved and to be happy? Visit truelovesecrets.org to discover the secrets of true love. Learn how to attract the true love you deserve and never be hurt again. A life without love is a sad life. Visit truelovesecrets.org. Discover how to find true love in your present or future relationships.
Today, many young adults struggle with anger, anxiety, and signs of depression, and they are confused about what's happening to them. On the other side, parents are desperate, realizing that meds and therapy are not going to help their child achieve success in life. Visit TrueParentingSecrets.com to discover accelerated strategies to help your young adult overcome anger, anxiety, and depression. Regain your child's trust and help them unleash their true potential. Visit TrueParentingSecrets.com. Set your child up for success in life.
It was the best decision I ever made for me and for my child.
Visit TrueParentingSecrets.com.
Why most people choose to go to therapy? Well, we already talked about the fact that they need to feel understood. Okay. But it's also a release of energy. It's, I just dropped all my pain right here in front of you. I didn't fix it. I do not want to fix it. I just want to share it. I just want some compassion. I just want some empathy from people that maybe I can get this. Maybe they don't understand me. And as we talked, the therapist, most of the times, they understand these things because probably they suffered from it and they didn't know how to fix it. So the understanding is there. Nevertheless, we have 4 types of men and 4 types of women in the world. We call them the 4 archetypes, and you have 4 types of therapists. So who you're going to find is probably one likable, very similar in thinking with you. That is not going to challenge you. That is not going to tell you that you're wrong in your perspective. Because next time you're not going to go. And that's not going to move you out of that circle of thinking. Healing is done in isolation. We always say that when people are going through transformational healing programs, a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks, it's going to be absolutely isolation. When you let go of that pain. This is why people who suffer from anxiety and depression and heartbreak, they need to isolate themselves because instinctively they know that only by isolating they can heal. Nevertheless, they end up isolating for months and years because they don't have the right strategies to follow, so they'll get to the end result. One step is healing in isolation. The second step is healing with others. So when you are going to therapy, you only cocoon yourself into another wall. It's like, okay, I just joined the party here, okay, with somebody that just can listen to me, and that's it. And healing is not done, and you're never escaping it. Because there is nobody challenging you. There is nobody pushing you to escape it. And you're like, well, I did something. Right? I'm going once a week. I do something. I'm paying some money. Not understanding that little effort equals little results. And unfortunately, this is how it goes for a lot of people who do not want to escape the situation they're in. Or some of them that do not know they can escape the situation they're in. So now saying that, what kind of therapist should you choose? Number one you do not like. Yeah, I never liked any of my mentors until I got out of a situation I was in. Now I like them all. Why is this important? Because if you like somebody, they're going to be on the same frequency of thinking with you. It's very interesting how the same frequency of thinking as you are would be maybe negative, would be full of pain. But somebody that you do not like, they bring something else to the table. I'm not saying that you should choose somebody alcoholic and drug addict or things like this that you do not like. That's not what I'm saying, okay? Not that kind of I don't like. But most people do not like the truth. So if you find somebody that speaks the truth and you do not like it, you cannot take it too much, you can only take it in bits, that is the person that can help you out of your troubles. Let me give you an example and how I understood my entire depression situation since the age of 12. The first mentor I went to talk to, he told me, okay, in 30 seconds, please tell me your story. I said, okay, well, I was abandoned by my father, I had an alcoholic mother, I had a suicide at age 19, 2 divorces. I think that will do 30 seconds, right? He's like, yes. Did you ever met your father? I said, no, I never met him. Oh, okay. So he just abandoned you and your mother? Yes. Okay. So why did you kill yourself at the age of 19? Well, I came from university and I was very happy. I secured another scholarship for another semester and I felt that my mom was drinking again. She was smelling. So I just went to my bedroom and took 41 sleeping pills. But if your father would have ever been there, that wouldn't have happened, right? Probably that wouldn't have happened, but he was never there. I see. I want you to do something for me right now. I said, okay. I want you to pretend that you are your father. Exactly your father. And you go through the door, very happy, you made some extra money from work. And you feel that your mom is smelling and drinking. And I want you to tell me what you're going to do. And I froze for a second. And I told him I would leave. That moment, I understood everything about my depression. Absolutely everything. That moment, it was my illumination moment of not blaming somebody for leaving somebody else that couldn't help herself, and he couldn't help her. Everything changed from that moment. The relationship with my mother, the relationship with men, the relationship with a father I never knew. Everything has changed from that particular moment. And this is what I haven't learned at the university. Because just by the fact that I said I was abandoned, I was blaming somebody for my mom's situation and my situation. And in the triangle of insanity, I was labeling my father as an aggressor, me as a savior for my mom, and my mom as a victim. And I never looked at him as the victim who was smart enough to get out. That quality of getting out and being smart enough, I use it all of my life out of 2 failed marriages until I found my life partner. So I want you to understand that there is a need for therapy. There is a need to talk about your problems. But unless you do not change them as quickly as I did, that need is complaint department, is playing victim. And this is what most people do not understand. That you can be depressed for 27 years of your life. You can be depressed for 50 years of your life. And you can get out of depression between 3 to 7 months. And it's amazing because it has no connection between how long you've been in depression and how fast you can get out. There is no connection. It's only the willingness of getting out. So this is the first thing that I want you to look in a therapist. Somebody that you do not like what he or she tells you to do. But somebody that gives you quick, fast realizations and then puts you on the right path, not to stay there for a year or 2 years or 10 years of therapy, Another question you should ask the therapist is, did you have this problem that I have? And how did you resolve it? If the person is not able to give you the exact strategy of how they resolved it, and they said, oh, it took a couple of years. No. It doesn't take a couple of years. Oh, I just felt better after that. Okay, and you were happy and successful and you have a great relationship with the people who hurt you, and ask questions. Don't just fall into traps. How long it took you to get out is very important too. Because anything that's over a year, it will not be the right answer. And then ask how long it will take you to get out. Tell them clearly, I'll do whatever you ask me to do. How long is going to take me to get out? What do I have to learn to do this? Ask the question. In a therapy setting, I see people all the time. The therapist is taking notes and the client is talking. It's actually the opposite. I'm sorry to tell you. You should be taking notes while they are talking, so you can implement those things into your life. This is why cognitive behavior therapy works for 60% of a population immediately. Nevertheless, it doesn't work on long term, and there is a reason for that. For immediate relief and changes in behavior, it works because you are taking actions to change things. It doesn't work for long term because there is still pain underneath it that hasn't been resolved or removed. And it's easy to fall back into the same thought, negative patterns. And it's like, it's too hard to fight with life for every day of your life. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. This is why exactly we teach people not to fight with life, because they're not going to win. We teach people how to surf with life, how to learn skills to conquer life from above without too much of an effort. So ask questions. And if you are a parent sending your child to therapy, ask the same questions. Did you ever have a child yourself that has struggled with this? How did you help your own child? How long did you took? What do I have to learn to help my child? Not you talking to the child about me, the aggressor. This is why when we work with parents and very rarely with children. When we work with a child, we only ask very simple questions like, what is your complaint about your parent or about your life? And then we come back and fix it. So there will be none. So that relationship between parent and child will be as it needs to be, as a parent to be the role model for the child, not somebody off the streets, not a therapist, not a mentor. Nobody else should be a role model for your child except you as a parent. So as therapy is fashionable and everybody is moving towards it, you need to know, who do you choose in your life? Do you want results or you want complaint department? And many people are not ready to fix their situation, to resolve it, and to get over it. So they choose that path of therapy forever, trying to put boundaries, trying to feel a little bit better, trying to mask whatever they feel until they realize that it's all in vain. But everybody needs to make their own mistakes in life to realize what works and what doesn't work. I was just lucky that I found out what doesn't work at a very young age. Saying that, I will leave you for some food for thought about the therapy trap and if you should use it or not in your life. See you at our next show.
Have you ever wondered what it takes to have amazing relationships? Are you still waiting for true love to show up in your life? Would you like to be loved and respected without fear of disappointment? Visit truelovesecrets.org to discover the secrets of true love. Learn how to attract the true love you deserve and never be hurt again. A life without love is a sad life.
It's amazing how easy it is to be loved and to be happy.
Visit truelovesecrets.org. Discover how to find true love in your present or future relationships. Visit truelovesecrets.org.
What's wrong with me? I can't even smile anymore.
This depression takes over my entire life. My child also shows signs of depression.
Anxiety is so debilitating.
I'm separated for over a year. Why do I still feel heartbroken?
I'm stuck in a rut, and I don't know how to get out.
What should I do? How can I escape this anxiety?
I want love in my life, but I'm so afraid of another betrayal.
Visit truesecretsoflife.com to overcome anxiety and depression.
Visit truesecretsoflife.com to overcome heartbreak.
Visit truesecretsoflife.com to never be hurt again.
Visit truesecretsoflife.com to build amazing family relationships.
Visit truesecretsoflife.com to live the life you deserve and desire.
Visit truesecretsoflife.com to change your life.